going to say something out loud, you write it down, and then tell me the answer. So what is 23% of 50? So the first thing I would do is write that down. Okay, so I'm going to take you down to my desk. I'm going to move myself so we can use the whole space. Okay, so what I just said was what is 23% of 50? Okay. So that's the question. So you just write down exactly what I said. That's step number 1. Okay, yep, step number 1. And now we're going to translate. So what, that's something I don't know, is, how would you write 23% as a fraction or a decimal? Your choice. What do you want to write it as? Okay, 23%, 23 over 100. You could have also written 0.23, either one works. Of is multiply, 50 is here. Remember, you're doing classes with a calculator, so be sure to get it out. So 23 divided by 100 is 0.23 times 50. I have 11.15. So x equals 11 point, oh, I'm sorry, did I say 15? 11.5. There we go. Okay, so that was question number 1. We're going to do 3 of these for review. Okay, question number 2. You ready? 97 is 40% of what number? Okay, so I'm just going to say it, then you're going to write it down, and then give me the answer. 97 is 40% of what number? Okay, so the first thing we got to do is write down what I just said. Don't try to solve it first. You want to just write down what you heard. So 97 is 40% of what number? Okay. And now we translate. 97 is 40% of what number? Okay, this should be review. If it's not, I need you to slow down on your homework and really make sure you're understanding as you're working through it. Okay, so we got to get the x by itself. So you simply divide both sides of the equation by whatever is in front of the x. And make sure you do it for both sides. Anytime you have a fraction with the same thing top and bottom, notice we have decimals in the fraction. Okay, that's fine. Math can handle it. But this, the numerator is the same as the denominator. So that tells me that this is equal to 1. Okay, so x is on this side. And now I simply need a calculator to tell me 97 divided by 0.4. So I have a number that should be bigger than 97, and I do. This is 242 and 5/10. Okay. Good. You could have done it another way. Yes. So 97 is 40%. And then we want to know 97 out of what is the same as 40 out of 100. So somebody was asking about the percent proportion. That's how you would set that up. And then you would cross multiply, and you'd actually get this same statement. Okay. Either way, however you want to do it is fantastic. Okay. Last one. Ready? 36. Oh, here. Let me get it so you can see me. 36 is what percent of 24? 36 is what percent of 24? Okay, so we write down what I said. 36 is what percent of 24? Okay, so translating, 36 is what percent is x over 100? Okay, what percent of is multiply and 24? So I'm going to slide the 100 over here. So this is 36 equals x times 24 over 100. And I can do that because everything's all multiplied. This is x times 0.24. So I'm going to turn this into a decimal number. I'm going to divide the 24 by 100. So I only have to deal with one number. Okay. So I'll rewrite this so it's clear. 36 equals x times 0.24. Okay. Let's make this go higher. Okay. So what we want to do is divide both sides by this 0.24. Okay, so that turns into 1. X equals, and now we're going to take 36 and divide it by 0.24. 36 divided by 0.24. It's 150. All right, give me a smile if this stuff's making sense. Is it 150? No, that's not the full answer, is it? Don't forget. Look back what it was asking. It said 36 is what percent of 24? So if 24 is 100%, 36 is a bigger number than 24, so you're going to get more than 100%, which we did. We got 150%. Okay, I can back up the camera a little bit. Sure, no problem. Does that look? Ooh, it's still not back enough. Is that better? Okay. Good. All right, how are you feeling about your quick little review? Feeling good? Okay, so let's, you want to do more? Yes, so we've been spending a lot of practice, a lot of time on this for the past couple of weeks. So you want to make sure you're comfortable with all three of these types of questions. So this one was the what percent question. This was the of what number format. And then the one we started with was what is. Okay, so you have to be comfortable with all three. Those are the three big ones. Okay, so let's dive in and do a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, so if I said 3/4, could you tell me what percent that is? If I said 3/4. Now you may have this memorized, and that's great if you do. If you don't, that's okay. But I need to know, what would you multiply the 4 by to get a fraction whose denominator is 100? Yeah, it would be 25, right? Whoop, that's not a 25. Wait, don't write that down. Sometimes my hands don't write down what my brain wants it to. 25, there we go. 4 times 25 is 100. So in order to not change the problem, I have to multiply top and bottom by the same number. This is 1. This is a clever form of 1 because the top and bottom is the same. So 3 times 25 is 75. A percent is where the fraction, it's the numerator of a fraction whose denominator is 100. So you just rip this off and you stick it up there. So that's how you got 75. You probably had that one memorized. What about this one? 2/5 is what percent? You can use any method you'd like. Tell me. You can use this method if you want. Okay, tell me what percent is 2/5. Okay, you got 10 seconds. Okay, I'm seeing some answers come in. Fantastic. Let me write it again on this page. 2 over 5 times something is over 100. Okay, so 5 times 20 gives me 100. So 2 times 20 gives me 40. Okay, so we rip that off and we say 2/5 is equal to 40%. There's another way you can do it. You can just take your calculator and say 2 divided by 5 and then multiply by 100. And you'll get the numerator. 2 divided by 5 is 0.4. Multiply by 100 and you get the same. 2 different ways of doing it. And they both work. Okay. How about this one? This is going to force you to only use one way. Ooh, that looks like a wonky 7, doesn't it? Let me do that again. There you go. 3/7. You tell me, is there any number you can multiply 7 by to get an even 100? Is there any whole number? No. So what you're going to have to do is use your calculator. Okay? And from way back when, you used to do things like this. Who really has a bad taste in their mouth when I put something like this up? That's fine. Just as long as you remember what you're doing when you use a calculator. All right? So there's the decimal point, and you can have as many of these guys as you want. So 7 doesn't go into 3, 7 goes into 30. How many times? 4 minus 28. You can just watch me do it. Drop that 0. 7 goes into that only 2 times. Minus 14, okay, because 2 times 7 is 14, and we could just keep going, right? Oh, wait, no, I didn't do this wrong. I didn't do that right. That's not 7, that's 6. There we go, 60. There we go. And then we have an 8, and then we have a 5, and then we have a 7, and then we have 1, and it keeps going on. What is the decimal? I'm sorry, so the decimal, 3/7. What is the percent using my number? Okay, take it to 1 decimal place. So you turn it into a decimal first. That's step 1. Because most numbers that walk down the street are ugly like this. And they give an ugly answer like this that doesn't end. This one's special because it's a 7. But, and so what you're going to do is multiply by 100. 1, 2, decimal point goes there. So this is 42 point, we're going to, let's see, 8571%. But I said round to the nearest tenth, which is that number. So we cover everything up, but we peak. That's a 5 and above. So this actually gets bumped up. So 3/7 is 42.9%. That's rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, any questions? We're good? Good. Now it's your turn. Tell me the percents for these two numbers, 5/11 and 19/13. Ugly numbers, right? Okay. You got 20 seconds. Tell me, you can use a calculator, it's fine. Tell me what the percent equivalent is for each one. And I want you to round to the nearest whole number for each one. Round to the nearest whole number. So what would you like to do? Okay, yes, I would grab my calculator because, you know, you've worked hard. You know how to divide. So 5 divided by 11 times 100. Excellent. Nearest whole number, so it's 45.4. So that tells me we're not rounding up. It's staying as 45. 19 divided by 13. Who already sees a problem here? Okay, I should get more than 100 because the top is bigger than the bottom. I see 146. So I'm taking 19 divided by 13, multiplied by 100. Make sure you can do that on your calculator because that is going to be required for the next set of problems we're going to do, where we are going to take a look at word problems. Okay, good so far? Yay! Okay, big old smile, love it. Okay. You're hungry and you eat, let's say, there's a candy bar and it's 12 centimeters long. Okay, so here, I'll draw this for you. 12 centimeters long. Is that a long candy bar? How long is 12 centimeters? Okay, 1 inch is 2.5 centimeters, just for reference. Okay, a whole candy bar is this long. You eat 3.5 centimeters worth. Okay, you eat that much. What percent did you eat? This is a silly example, I know. But this could represent money, and this is how much you spent. This could represent how much of your resources you have available, and this is how much has been like your budget. So even if it's a silly example, the math is useful in lots of places. So what percent did you eat? Okay, how would you set this up? How would you go about it? Remember, most of your time should be on this step we're on right now, figuring out what is it even asking and how do I model this on paper? Okay, so what are your ideas? What do we do? Okay, how did you set it up? Don't just tell me the answer now. How did you set it up? You could turn it into a statement. That's great. So the statement might be 3.5 is what percent of 12? That would be our statement. Does that make it a little clearer? Okay. So then when we translate, 3.5 is what percent of 12? Okay, so I'm going to move the 100 over here and divide 12 by 100. I'm going to get 0.12 times x. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.12. So x is, that's going to go 0, 3.5 over 0.12. Grab your handy dandy calculator. I have 3.5 divided by 0.12. Now, do I need to multiply by 100 to get a percent, or is that already built in? It's built in because we wrote this as a fraction. If we had just written x, then you'd have to multiply by 100 here. Okay, so you ate about 29%, or you spent about 29% of your resources. Good. All right, how are you feeling about the problem? You feeling like if you had a similar problem, you could totally get it this time? Awesome. Good. Okay, so let's do a couple more